In today's video, I am answering an audience member's question regarding a video that I made a few weeks back when I said, when someone is pointing their finger at you, and it seems they're doing it a lot, you always want to remember how many fingers are pointing back. And it's something you can use for yourself. If you're pointing your fingers at someone, check those 3 fingers because they're pointing back at you as well, and there might be something you need to learn. Now, the viewer, the audience member, asked a question specifically about what to do when constantly a family member, an abusive family member, is pointing fingers at them. And I'd like to preface this with 2 things. First, I have been a licensed therapist and I have practiced in healing modalities. And this is something that I would definitely help someone with. But I want to preface that this is my opinion and this is what I would do in this situation, because I am not here to give advice. This isn't about that. This is an entertainment venue, right? We watch YouTube videos and we watch social media to get entertained. Maybe we can get some education. Hopefully there's some good sources out there. I hope to provide some of that. So take that with that understanding. And the second is that I prefer not to give opinions. I will definitely share my expert advice when I can. And this is why I'm speaking up and sharing in this video. Thank you for your question. I appreciate them, and I'm always open and willing to, if I can, answer questions. So let's look at 2 things that happen when we call or say someone is a that, and we'll use the word abuser. As soon as we have an abuser, we have an abusee. Just like if we have a victim, we have a perpetrator. If we have a protagonist, we have an antagonist. That is the nature of the universe we live in. That is the nature of this earthly plane that we are living in. There is a duality going on. We have the black, white, the good, the evil, the right and the wrong, and the positive and the negative. That is the nature of the universe we live in. If we can understand that, that allows us then to take the perspective of, am I in the situation being one or the other? And if you are, and if it's not something that you really want, and you can extrapolate the fact that you don't have to be in that duality, that it's actually a fabricated, generated type of thing. Now, this is kind of high level stuff as I'm talking about it. So I don't want to be too abstract, but it's like Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage. We have our parts, and there are others that have their extras, and they come in and they go. I've made an NPC video on this, the non-player character, where there's characters that really don't have, they're meaningless. They can just be killed off. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that think that, yeah, let's just kill those off. They don't matter. They don't matter. Well, the point that I'm trying to make here is that we have to step into our own sense of who we are and recognize, are we being the other half of that duality, whether it's the abuser or the abusee, or the victim or the perpetrator? And what role are we playing in that? Not as blame, not as shame, not as guilt, not as regret, none of that. That's not effective. I can guarantee you that. I've done decades of cognitive therapy where that game was played, and that was the modality some of them used, and I was trained in that, and I know it's nonsense. It does not work. There's much more effective ways that are faster for healing. So let's get to those. I love the tool from Marshall Rosenberg. I love this concept that he created. Look up Dr. Marshall Rosenberg, nonviolent communication, compassionate communication. I think that his work is highly valuable in this scenario, in this situation, in this concept, to understand that anything that we are ever really saying is either a please or a thank you. This is what Dr. Rosenberg would say. Anything is either a please or a thank you. Now, if we step back and we let that sink in for a moment and remove the judgment on how evil it is or how bad it is, and we just, wait a minute, they're saying please or thank you. So what is in that? That takes some big skin. That takes some big responsibility. But that's the place where, from my viewpoint and what I've discovered for myself, real healing happens. It took me a long time to get there. I was going through my own process of healing while helping heal others. And so I was always on the hunt for the next, how can I heal? And then I can use the tool to heal myself and heal others. So I love that as a tool. I love this concept of understanding the duality of the nature of the universe and really separating yourself from that, because it is a fabricated type of thing. This is something in Qigong we practice and understand that there's the yin yang symbol, right? You cannot have one without the other, because that's how the universe is held together. It's held together by that. But that is just a universe. There's outside of that the truth, the wholeness of who you really are. And that's where it's just delicious. So that's why I always encourage the practice of rekindling that, getting silent, going into your sit, meditating, going for a walk and being present. These are the skills you do want to build and cultivate. And I highly recommend doing that so that you cultivate and build a capacity to be your expanded self and to be able to understand what's going on, not necessarily for them or with them or about them, but understand the scenario so that you're not in it, right? It's kind of like you can separate yourself out even when they're still attacking. But if you're not giving them anything to attack or to you're not pushing back with anything, it's just neutral, there's less to stick on and it just will die off, especially if that's the scenario that's going on. It's this push-pull game. Just drop your side of it. It's like, done. Don't need to play that. Now, that's again, this abstract way, because the fact is, if you're in an abusive situation, you need to get out of there. You need to get out of any abusive situation. If you have children, you protect them, you get them out of an abusive situation, period. Stop the abuse. Stop being by not being in the situation, right? Doing the things that you need to do to get yourself safe. And then from there, building tools, building resilience, building and growing and healing and taking through that process. But it's not necessarily your job to fix them. You want to understand the duality of this and understand the piece that we're all playing in this. If there's something happening and this push-pull, are you pushing or are you pulling? And what's that game? What's happening here? When you can shine some light there, you start to see a little bit of it unravel, and it's not this thick uncomfortableness. Instead, just really take some time. I believe taking the time to heal and surround yourself. That's why I created the group that I have. I wish I had it when I was a mom earlier on and early in my life when I was going through my own healing journey. I made it so that anyone could invest in it, $27 a month. We do weekly healing sessions and we do boundaries and self-care and, so many beautiful components there to build and to be in a resilient environment, not to play victims, but to take personal responsibility and to grow and expand. And I think that that's very valuable. It's a valuable way to look at things. I appreciate that you asked the question. I think that says a lot. I think it says that you're moving forward, that you want to shift things, and never underestimate the power of your thoughts and your belief and your hope and your dreams, and really protect them. Protect your energy and your thoughts so that you're creating from your thoughts what you want to see happen in the future. And what you, even for them, ideally holding their best good, their highest good. And as you hold your own, and when you can fully step into that and articulate that for yourself, what is highest good and best outcome for you, that is inevitably exactly what is highest and best good for all, because that's the nature of the universe. That's the beauty of it. That's why I do the work that I do. I hope that helps. Again, I appreciate you asking the question. And if anyone else has questions, you can always reach out to me. Just tag me in the YouTube videos, and I'm here. Bye for now. Peace and blessings.